My name is CRJ. I'm here to provide the highlight of my paper on travel control security measures and a war against transnational crimes. Security can be described as a condition attained when there is absence of danger. The issue of security has generated a worldwide attention due to the general atmosphere of palpable fears and anxiety that the generality of the societies around the world find themselves. The root cause of crime in American society is located in the general belief in individualism arising from the American dream syndrome, coupled with the Americans' belief of self-efficacy to the neglect of collective responsibilities to their neighbors. Definition of terms. Travel control. Travel control can be described as measures directed at assisting the regulation of the orderly legal movement of people migrating from one geographical area to another. Security measures. Security measures are the aggregate of protective measures that are put in place to curtail the incursion of illicit activities and to proactively thwart the intention of the criminal minds. Types of transnational crimes. Transnational crimes manifest in a number of ways. Some of these crime include, but not limited to, terrorism, money laundering, human trafficking, drug trafficking, smuggling, identity theft, cyber crimes, advanced fee frauds, and a host of others. Challenges of transnational crimes. Globalization of crimes has remained an unresolved security challenge that preoccupies nations around the world, especially the United States of America. The United States has remained the target of most transnational criminals, largely due to the relatively relaxed immigration policy, which provides opportunity for people around the world to migrate in search of greener pasture and in pursuit of peace, happiness, freedom, and liberty. Besides the 9/11 attack, the ease with which terrorists successfully employed the use of gas to attack the passengers on the Tokyo subway in 1995 and the bomb attack on a London bus perhaps provides an impetus and incentives for terrorist restlessness in the US. More so, the US has the largest transportation in the world, with subway ridership the second largest transportation system after bus. The United States transit system recorded a substantial patronage yearly with more than 9 billion passenger trips and operated by approximately 350,000 employees. 61% of ridership was by buses, 20% by heavy rails, including subways, 4% by commuter rail, 3% by light rails, 2% by ferry boats, vans, and so on, 1% by trolley buses, and 5% by others. This information is provided graphically as you can see on the screen. In terms of financing, the federal government provides only 4% of operating expenses, while state and local governments provide 21% and 22% respectively. Also, revenue from fares accounts for 36% of operating expenses, while the federal government provides 47% of capital expenses. This information also is provided as you can see on the screen. Transportation system and facilities in the US. In my paper, I categorized transportation system and facility in the US into three. First, airports and seaports. Second, rail and subway systems. And thirdly, land and border. The US policies and legislations on security measures. The first effort by the government to strengthen the confidence of American citizens and residents in their safety, especially in the post 9/11 attacks, was the reorganization of the security apparatus. The Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) was restructured and strengthened. Another milestone policy was the creation of a supervising ministry for domestic security. The Department of Homeland Security became a conglomerate and a fusion of a total of 22 federal agencies independently performing similar functions. In the post 9/11 attacks, the following acts were enacted: the National Emergency Act, the Mobilization Terrorism Against Terrorism Act, the USA Patriotic Act. This USA Patriotic Act covers the following: the Wiretap Statute, the Computer Fraud Abuse Act, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the Pen Register and Trap Statute, the Immigration and Nationality Act, the Money Laundering Act, and the Bank Secrecy Act. Other anti-terrorism acts include Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the Federal Omnibus Diplomatic Security, the Anti-Terrorism Act, the Comprehensive Terrorism Preventive Act, the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act, the Aviation and Security Anti-Terrorism Act. International Cooperation Against Transnational Crimes. In the international arena, the United Nations, through its Security Council, passed resolutions requiring its member states to implement actions against terrorism. Such actions include criminalizing any source of terrorism financing, suppress and freeze assets of people who support terrorist financing, prohibit any action of terrorist assistance, and encourage members to share information on terrorist activities. Similarly, in 2004, the US, together with Australia and Chile, embarked on a regional movement alert list as the seedbed for multilateral alert system for sharing passport intelligence, physical and technical security measures. Transnational crimes are imported canker-worm in the fabric of the US society and are enabled through the country's ports of entry, such as the land border, sea, and airports. Therefore, in addition to the policies and legislation tools, there are also physical and technical measures that are assisting law enforcement to curtail the activities of criminals. First, physical observation. Physical observation of objects under investigation has been proved to be useful instrument in detecting crimes even before they are committed. To this end, the TSA employees are trained to detect criminals by observing intending passengers' psychological and unintentional body movements. Closed-circuit televisions. The use of CCTV to monitor the activities and movements at the border and ports is to complement other forms of security measures aimed at preventing and detecting crimes and criminals. Metal detectors. Metal detectors are used to scan both the passengers' bodies and luggage. Radar-based threat detector. This equipment similarly functions like metal detectors to detect objects that are concealed under the passenger's clothing and which are considered dangerous. In conclusion, security can be described as a condition of feeling of freedom from threat and danger. However, for some social or inexplicable reasons, this society has been thrown into a state of palpable fear, insecurity, tension, and anxiety due to nefarious activities of men and women of the underworld. The implementation of travel control security measures by the government is therefore a right approach in the right direction of improving the safety of lives and properties of Americans, residents, and visitors alike. Thank you, and I thank you very much for listening.